Welcome to Talking Clean, the podcast where we will break down clean energy and healthy living into simple, everyday habits that can save you money and protect our community. I'm your host, Dr. Mary House, and I want to share with you why this is so important to me. Being raised in a poor neighborhood in Detroit, where resources and information about creating a healthier and cleaner place to live, it was not a conversation. We were just concentrating on surviving, just like some of you. So as I became an adult, my curiosity began to explore the many concerns of why things weren't like they should be. So in this journey, I began to find out what was not happening in underserved communities of color all across America as it pertains to this topic. And I discovered we just weren't exposed to nor given the resources and information needed to create a healthier and cleaner home. Now, fast forward, I knew I had to be a voice crying in the wilderness for people who looked like me. And out of this cry, this podcast was birthed. And together, we're going to explore practical tips, local resources, and inspiring stories that empower our families and communities to live cleaner, greener, and healthier lives. So whether you're looking to cut down your utility bills or make a difference in your neighborhood, you are in the right place. So let's talk about why home energy efficiency matters. See, there's rising energy costs and how they affect the low and moderate income families. Then there's a link between home efficiency and healthier living conditions. Do you know that your home is not required to have any kind of regulations and that the air quality in your home is just crazy? What I want you to do, though, is open up some windows. Open up some windows. What did I say? Open up some windows because you'll be surprised, or your door. You know, do you know if you have it, if it's safe? Because I don't know where people live. If you can just open your door and just let some fresh air in, it also helps the quality of your home. So now let's talk about some practical tips. And let's talk about washing clothes. So what we want you to do is put a full load. Wait till you have a full load of clothes. Now, I'm gonna just give you something practical. Right now, it's just my husband and I, right? So I only wash once a week, and sometimes it's every other week. Thank God we got enough stuff that we can do that with. But make sure you separate your whites from your colors and wash them separately, but make sure it's a full load. That will save you energy, and it will also bring down the usage that's on your bill. So you're going to hear me say usage throughout this podcast because that is what controls your utility bill. And so washing clothes is very essential in how you do it. Make sure you're using cold water, even with the hot on the whites, I want to say, because we say always, I don't know where we got that from, but you want steaming hot water for white clothes. Well, that steaming hot water costs you. Think about it. But it really does, if you use warm water, it really does clean your white clothes just as effectively as scorching hot. So remember, do not use hot water on those clothes. Then the next tip is hang your clothes out to dry. How do you do that? Guess what? Everybody got a bathroom. Get a retractable clothesline. Put it in your shower, and then hang your clothes out to dry. I have one in my garage, and I also have one in my home. And I make sure that I'm hanging those clothes out to dry. And then let me give you a little tip. If you must, when you finish air drying it, put the clothes in your dryer with a dryer sheet on air fluff. Hear me, air fluff. And then it'll make them soft and it'll make them smell good. But again, what are we doing? We're talking about home energy efficiency and bringing down that usage. You're going to hear me say that again. Usage controls the bill. So now what you want to do is look at your bill this month. And then next month, look at your bill and see how is it coming down. And compare last month's to this month's, or this month's to next month's. And let's see what your utility bill is, because you should start seeing things get a little lower. See, I'm going to have an episode on how to read your monthly bill so you'll know if you're being overcharged or what you're doing. As you know, there is there's something going on with NV Energy and the overcharging. And they're already up to over $30 million of overcharging. How you going to know? Unless you're paying attention. I want you to be woke. That's the word. Isn't that what the young people say? We need to be woke. So now remember to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on anything that we're talking about, because we're going to just make sure that you are woke in this season. So let me give you some simple, practical, everyday efficiency tips. First of all, we're going to start by unplugging your appliance and your electronics. Put them on a power strip, first of all. Let's do that. And then turn that power strip off at night and unplug it. When you keep it plugged, it's called phantom energy. What is phantom energy? That means energy that you don't even know that you're using and you think it's okay. Look, unplug it at night. And then for those of my people who are on different shifts, because we're in Nevada, I'm talking to my Nevadans, whatever shift you're on. So if you sleep during the day, unplug it. What did I say? Unplug it. And then I want you to switch your light bulbs, if you haven't already, from the fluorescent to the LED bulbs. I did that when I first moved in my home, and my bill dropped tremendously just by replacing it with LED bulbs. And then if you're not in the room, cut that light off or turn that light off. You know, people say different things. My mother used to tell us, girl, you better turn that light out, okay? Girl, if you ain't in that room, turn it off. She was really applying energy efficiency back then. But I grew up in one of them homes. My mother was that kind of mom. Turn it off. I'm gonna be Mama Mary right now. Turn it off if you're not in that room so that you can bring your usage down, because everything counts. The other thing I want to talk about is your thermostat. In the winter, it should be 68 degrees. In the summer, it should be 78. So put on a sweater, or put on get a blanket and wrap it around you if you feel like it's still too cold in your house. And in the summer, wear some short sleeves, all right? Get your fan and let's do that. And just remember, those are the kind of things that bring that usage down. You're going to keep hearing me talk about usage, all right? Now, lastly, I want you to remember I have a call to action. What is your call to action? You see, I just sat back on you right now. I want you to implement at least 3 things I just talked about. And if you forgot, rewatch the podcast. It's not a sin. All right, rewatch it. 3 tips, and watch what will happen with your utility bill. I want you to invite your neighbor and a family member to listen and subscribe. But most importantly, let me know what your concerns are. If you have any questions, I want you to email me at admin, that's ADMIN, at chrinc.net. And let me know. I'm going to make sure that this podcast is reaching the community. And I'm talking about what you really want to hear about. I really want to know your concerns and your questions. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Talking Clean with Dr. Mary House. Remember, every small step towards cleaner living adds up to a big difference for your home, your wallet, and our community. So if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe. Share this episode with a friend and connect with us online for more clean energy resources. Just remember to think green and keep talking clean.